Welcome to Sage Advice. I'm your host, Hamza Khan, and this is the show where we gather the wisdom that helps us live, love, and lead with purpose. Today's guest is someone who has made the digital world less daunting and more human for tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and everyday professionals, including myself. Avery Swartz is the founder and CEO of Camp Tech, Canada's most established provider of practical tech and AI skills training. She's the co-lead of AI Skills Lab Canada, helping women and non-binary entrepreneurs bridge the AI gap. She's a best-selling author, a trusted voice on national media, and someone I have long admired for her clarity, warmth, and genuine desire to help people thrive in the digital age. Avery, welcome to Sage Advice.
Oh my gosh, thank you, my friend. That's beautiful.
My friend, this has been a long time coming. Right off the bat, I have a gift for you in Canadian Nardwuar style.
Oh, amazing.
This gift is one I have thought so long and hard about. I think long and hard about all the gifts I'm going to give to all of the sages that are blessing us with their wisdom. This one made me so happy because it gave me the opportunity to begin my own collection in the exploration of this unique human being, one of one. By chance, do you know Martha Graham?
Like the dancer?
The legendary dancer, choreographer, the pioneer of modern dance.
Yes.
My friend, this is a book for you. It is called Errand into the Maze, The Life and Works of Martha Graham. It is yours.
Amazing. Thank you. Look at this.
It is a tome.
Martha Graham, what an interesting human.
Yes.
Like a little bit cuckoo bananas, a little like, iconoclastic, but what a visionary.
Did you just describe yourself? See what I did here?
I love it.
Martha Graham, I am amazed that a major motion picture has not been made about Martha Graham. Martha Graham is the coolest person that I know. And she's right up there with you, with Bailey, with Dr. Dina Schaefer. Like, you are on the pantheon of iconoclasts. Truly, people who are doing the thing, one of one, but somehow four of four. Well, one of four. I'm getting my ratios wrong. Yeah. But Martha Graham is responsible for my all-time favorite quote. And only one other person knows this, Bailey, and now I'm going to share it with you.
Please.
Here we go. The quote that animates Hamza. It is from Martha Graham. She said, "There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, not how it compares with other expression. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open."
Dang.
Dude, banger, right?
And that's, yeah. And dancer and choreographers, it's all about like the body and like embodying. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like borderline woo-woo. Without being like too far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I right before we were recording, we were talking about, war and sports analogies and business and how we just don't get them and how we think that they're unnecessary. But I talked about the distinction between an athlete and a basketball player.
Yeah.
Basketball players are good at playing basketball. Athletes can be dropped into any sport and be exceptional. And I think that Martha has the sort of mindset, the physicality, the full package that lends herself well to being dropped in any realm of life and succeeding. And I think about people like Martha. I think about you, I think about Dina, I think about Bailey, and I think that, wow, you could be doing anything with your time, your energy, and attention. But you have chosen to do this very specific thing. You are keeping the channel open. And I am better for it. The world is better for it. I need to know more. We need to download some sage advice from you, my friend.
All right, let's do it.
My first question for you is this.
Yeah.
When would you say the Avery Swartz story started? What was the inciting force, if we're borrowing from our guide, Joseph Campbell? Thinking about every day there was Avery Swartz until one day. What was your until one day?
I mean, I think I've probably been like this, like my personality that many times through my life that I've tried to change in some way. I've always wanted to be more, if we're going to use dancer analogies, like I've always wanted to be more graceful, more poised, more wise and quiet and, introspective. Like, you know those people that like they sit quietly and then all of a sudden they drop a truth bomb and they like shatter a room? Yeah, I can't be that person. And I finally just like, well, screw it. I guess I'm just who I am. I'm loud, I'm boisterous, but hopefully, I think I'm pretty real. I am quick to laugh. I'm a mega klutz, so I cannot be like a graceful dancer because I'll probably just like spill water on myself. And I think like I've had this personality like since like ta-da, like April 15, 1980, like I bust out on the scene. And that was it. Like I think my parents, my mother used to say, like, I'm paraphrasing, she didn't use these words specifically, but it was like, she was like, parenting you was more just like trying to just make sure that you weren't just like touching the live wire all the time.
Remove obstacles from your path.
Right.
Let Avery do Avery.
Yeah, like, it was like, good luck trying to harness this in any way. Yeah.
You had your own vision. You had your own mission. It was low resolution in the beginning. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we don't have the ability at this present moment to figure out how cogent babies are. But I think it's possible that you were like, I want to explore this world on my own terms. Yeah. And it seems like you got the best of both sides of the 49th. You got the brashness of an American, but you've also got the poise, the calm. You say you don't have it, but I genuinely
it came much later in life.
Oh, like you got it, my friend.
In my teens and 20s, I was so brash. I mean, I was the kid. I'm the oldest on my mother's side. I'm the oldest of I think like 8 or 9 cousins, and so, like eldest daughter, eldest cousin, like just the boss, and very dramatic. And we would have family Christmases where all the cousins would get together, and the very first thing that I would do, it was like, we're going to put on a performance.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to perform for the parents, for the aunts and uncles, for the grandparents. And you better believe I was like Kenneth Branagh. Like, I was the director. I was the
editor,
star. Yeah. I was like the stage manager. There's videos of
no quality control.
My like sweet little cousins that are just like kind of like they're like 5 years old, and I'm 7 or 8 years old, and I'm like, get off the stage. Like, you're not supposed to enter yet.
An auteur. That is hilarious because I did the same thing too. And I enlisted my dear brother and my dear sister. They were pawns in my machinations. Yes. I had them do some weird shit, for lack of a better word. Zareen Auntie, if you're listening to this, we're talking about the Abu Hassi show. Yeah, anyways. Wow, I can't believe I made that reference on Sage Advice.
Love
but
it.
That's another story for another time. I see it though, my friend. You are a operator through and through.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you are an athlete, a business athlete. You can do this in any realm, but you've chosen to give your gifts to the world of skills training, leadership development, AI competency. I'm very curious to know, what was the inciting force that perhaps brought you to this sort of triangulation of purpose?
I have a really strong sense of ethics, morality, whatever you want to call it, like right and wrong, injustice, wanting to right injustice, etc. I'm also very curious, and I have a mind that wants to seek out knowledge, and in particular things that are based in logic. So I really like math and science.
Yep.
And then I also really like art. So it's kind of an interesting duality. But one thing that in my career as being a technologist that used to just drive me bonkers and still does is what I see as an injustice of people using knowledge of technology as a power play over other people.
Ooh. People using knowledge as a power play over people.
Yeah.
Break it down.
Yeah. Okay. So, we know, of course, that there are lines in society where technology further exacerbates, or in access to technology, in use of technology, in knowledge of technology, further exacerbates lines that are already entrenched. Like it further entrenches people. So, when we see the adoption of the internet, with certain digital technology. Now we see it with AI. Those that have access to it, use it, wield it, grow with it, they're the victors. And those that don't have access continue to be even further disenfranchised. So that really just like bums me out and makes me mad. But The other thing is that I noticed, especially in the skills world, that those that wanted to seek out knowledge would often look to people that know a lot about technology. And the thing is, this is what I've learned about how I've structured my skills company. Somebody that knows a lot about technology is not necessarily a good educator.
Facts.
I'm like, you have to know what you're talking about. Like, you can't make this up. But just because you happen to work at a tech company or you work with this technology day in and day out does not mean that you can turn around and teach it to someone else.
Right. Pedagogy, it's a whole other thing.
Right? It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And so what I found was a lot of people that would, try and impart, and let's say that they were trying to be helpful.
Sure. Good
They're
intentions.
trying to help people learn technology, that oftentimes it was done in such a way that made the learner feel even more isolated, alone. A lot of the people that I come across and that I end up teaching, they'll say things like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. I don't know anything about computers.
Man.
Computers don't work when I touch them.
Mhm.
Oh, I touched the computer and it did something wrong. It must be my fault." And I'm like, no. Hold up. First of all, you are not dumb or stupid. You can do amazing things. I once taught, I was helping this person that was a floral designer. And they had just done the most beautiful floral installation for a celebrity's wedding.
Oh.
And it was so spectacular. And I looked at these pictures and I was like, look at what you just did with flowers. Like, this is amazing.
That was in your brain.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but when I try and, update my website, I'm so dumb. And I'm like, no. I can help you with the website, but I can't do what you can do.
Facts.
Like, I've got mad respect for what you can do. Do not think that you are dumb or stupid or whatever. Like, I'm dumb and stupid when it comes to flowers.
Yep.
But like, we can work this out. Like, I can help you through this. We can find a way for you to approach it. And I will like, I'm like, I'm not going to let you drown. Like, I will just find a way to make this make sense for you. And we will come at it like 700 different ways. Like, if you don't give up, I'm not going to give up either. And I think really what it comes down to is respect. I have respect for the learner.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are in positions of power in technology do not have respect for the people who are in lower positions of technology.
I would say that louder for the people in the back, but it's just the two of us and Rodrigo here, and Rodrigo can hear you clearly.
Yeah, what's up, Rodrigo?
Dude, I will not let you drown. Like, that is such a powerful sentiment, man. I cannot even begin to express just how grateful I am that you are doing this work. And it's coming from a renewable energy source. It's coming from that deep feeling of injustice, of people using their knowledge as a power play over people. That speaks to the Matthew principle, or the Matthew effect: to whom much is given, more shall be given. And this is so true with the world of artificial intelligence. It is bonkers. I feel like it's not even, I don't even feel, it's like, it's evident in every possible way that my father, mother and I are going in opposite directions in life. Pre-pandemic, he was running a very successful, thriving convenience store in downtown Toronto. And then the landlord issued a notice saying, shelter in place, shut down your store, 2 weeks. My dad's like, hey man, 2 weeks are going to fly by. 2 weeks became 2 months. 2 months became 2 years. And here he is still looking for an opportunity. And I keep on telling him, I'm like, Pops, like, I'm the guy that goes on stage and tells people, like, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 is done. 4-day work week, get ready. We're moving to 1 day and eventually no day work weeks. It's going to happen. Like you said downstairs, you see the thing, I see the thing. Like, we have been moving in this direction for a very long time. And I kind of wish that, like, my mom and my dad would embrace artificial intelligence more. I showed them ChatGPT. They got excited by it, but I'm like, this is the thing that can secure longevity for a little while longer. And they're like, no, we're good. We're comfortable. And, thank God they own their house. They can sell it right off into the sunset, look after grandkids, go on cruises. But I kind of wish, with the zest and the zeal that they had someone like you that was like, I'm going to make this fun for you. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're not stupid. You're not falling behind, irrespective of what Hamza's saying on this podcast. Like, you got this.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated. I can't do it, but it takes a very skilled educator like yourself to do that. So on behalf of learners out there who feel dejected, who have felt dejected, thank you for making this fun for us, because the traditional education system, unfortunately, despite their best efforts, is just not delivering on the promise, man.
Yeah, of course. And like, I think a lot about how we teach, because, I've got a company that scales at different levels, and I can't always be the only person in the room. So it's like, how do we replicate this method, this style? And it's so interesting, especially for someone like you and me who've had like imposter syndrome,
Big time.
that it's hard to trust your gut instincts because your gut instincts in a lot of times feel too easy.
Yeah.
So they're not trustworthy because they're too simple that they feel like you can't put weight on them.
Especially with the
won't
logic
hold.
science side of your brain, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I just instinctively know, because I've seen it. If people are relaxed and having a good time, they learn more.
Yeah. That's it.
And the fear goes to the back seat. The fear is probably still in the room, but it's in the back.
Right.
So if I can be goofy, klutzy, wild, over the top, big Avery in all the ways, that can help people feel comfortable, relaxed. I tell some corny jokes.
Yeah.
They laugh. We have a good time. Not only is that just more fun, because why wouldn't you have more fun in life if you can?
Truly.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
But also, you learn more.
Oh, yeah.
And you retain more when you're in a relaxed state. So I was like, it took me a long time to accept that as a truth, because I pushed it away. It seemed too easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, that can't be true. That doesn't seem like something that's very serious. Like it seems like truths always have to be very serious.
Yeah, and you're one of one in that respect, because I had the rare opportunity to see a keynote that you have since developed. It was a couple of months ago, and I saw you in the early stages, and I met you, and we were like just talking about like form, structure, and whatnot.
Yeah.
About a keynote that uses the metaphor of the line.
Oh yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself and telling Bailey right afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, like Avery has found the thing. She is touching fire here. Like she is Prometheus bringing fire back from the gods and giving it to us, because what you're talking about with the line, and I'd love for you to talk about the line in just a second, but let me just frame this for the audience. This is the thing that I wish people who are in charge, and I say in charge in quotes, they're not really in charge.
Yeah.
It's like the illusion of being in charge, should be talking about. But instead, there's an AI lust, an innovation lust right now.
Totally.
And there's all kinds of lines being crossed, but you were able to bring that concept that is like just wrapped in sort of social justice, if you will, restorative justice.
Yeah.
It is like, there's so many isms and its that I want to attach to it, but you made it fun. You made it. You were goofy.
Yeah. It's like, let's have a laugh.
You were self-deprecating, and you were sharing some very interesting stories and visualizations. But like, in giving me all of the sort of like the fun stuff, like it was a steady stream of broccoli in there. Like you were.
There's
veggies,
serious
man.
stuff. Yeah. We're gonna talk about issues.
You hid the veggies in there so nice. So please tell us about the line before we go any further.
Yeah, I mean, the line is something that I see in my work. I see it in society. I see it everywhere. We have the line personally. We have a line in our organizations. We even have a line, at the government levels. And the line I'm talking about is the line between what we deem acceptable and unacceptable with the use of AI. And the interesting thing about the line is how it changes and how it shifts. And, so for example, you may have a personal line of, I use AI for spell check, but I don't use it to write things for me.
Right.
Or, in your company, I have a line in my company where I don't use any AI tools for any HR related tasks because it just gives me the ick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though, like, no shade to like the HR AI companies that are out there. Like, there's a whole bunch of AI tools for, job postings, screening resumes, like screening candidates, doing interviews, evaluating people, doing one-on-ones, management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Fine, cool, but they're just not for me. Like that's my line.
Yeah.
I think human stuff should stay human stuff, as messy and sometimes complicated as it is. And then we have lines in society. I think it's fairly fair to say that in most societies, like we aren't super, super comfortable with AI technology being used for non-consensual pornography.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Deep fakes.
Deep fakes.
Oof. Taylor Swift went through that. Disaster. My God, man. And like, shame on you, X, by the way. Like, you're a company I have no interest in doing any work with. So like, don't even bring me in for a keynote unless you're absolutely serious and unless Elon's there himself. But like, shame on you for letting that happen, by the way. That is a line that should not have been crossed.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as somebody that's not the biggest fan of Taylor, but that was a line. Sorry.
Yeah. So what's interesting to me is when we're all grappling with this idea of like, where are we going to adopt AI? How are we going to adopt AI?
Yeah.
And there's a really, like, there is a, like, I can sit back and I can point to someone. I'm like, you're going to start here, then you're going to go here, then you're going to go here.
You see it.
This is how it always plays out. People instinctively inside organizations, they go, we don't know what to do. Get the IT department in here. So the IT department's like, what? We're used to talking about like, running cables and like Cat5s and Ethernet and stuff. Like, what do you mean we're going to, set up this AI policy or whatever for you? Or you're inside a business or a nonprofit or something that isn't even big enough to have an IT department. So some poor person is tasked with the idea of like make an AI policy for the organization. So the first thing they do is they look at the tool. And so you look at a tool and you're like, okay, are we going to use this tool or that tool, this tool or that tool, this tool or that tool? So they're looking Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini, ChatGPT or Claude, Grammarly or, I don't know, spell check, right?
Dragon, Dictate, Otter.
Yeah. Like Descript, Otter. Like what are we going to use?
Yeah.
And the big problem with that is all these tools can pretty much do the exact same thing. They're general purpose technology for the most part. So you can't just look at the tool because let's take ChatGPT, for example. So let's say inside an organization, you decide, okay, we're all allowed to use ChatGPT, but we're not going to use Grok, or we're not going to use DeepSeek, or we're not going to use Gemini or whatever.
Sure.
Pick your poison. But the thing is, inside Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, whichever one you want, sure, you can get it to help you write a blog post. You can also get it to help you build a bomb.
Oh, buddy.
So like, it's not the tool. You can't stop at choosing the tool. So it's like, let's move past choosing the tool.
Exactly.
So now you got to start to look at the task. What's the task you're going to do with the tool? Then we're starting to get on to something. Okay, you're allowed to do these things, but not these things. You're allowed to do these things, but not these things. The line starts to blur a little bit. And where you eventually get to, and anybody that's like done this work and started to really drill down on how they're going to use AI, where they eventually end up is intent and impact. It's not the tool. It's not even the task that you're doing with the tool. It's what is your intent for the use of this technology and what is the impact that use will have inside your own work, inside your organization, inside society as a whole. And you can't have conversations about intent and impact without bringing in some sort of a value system.
Avery, I'm very excited for this episode to release, but especially for the event organizers at Work Human to see this, because this is something that Eric Mosley, their CEO, and Kiana, I think their chief CHRO, a chief experience officer. I'm sorry, Kiana, if I'm getting your title wrong here, but C-suite, highest leaders in the organization, positionally, said on stage that AI should not live in tech. It should live in human resources.
Yes.
Because it is the only department that is explicitly focused on humans. It's the only department that has the word human in it.
Yeah.
And what you're saying over here, intent, impact, what is the task that you're trying to do with the tool? What is acceptable, unacceptable? How does that line shift? These are considerations that
nothing to do with technology.
With all due respect to even my own tech team, I'm like, folks, like this is why, like Bailey is the one leading the product development at Sage. You are supporting Bailey with your gifts and your skills, but somebody has to be thinking about this. Yep. Otherwise, this becomes another soulless technology that can be used to build a bomb. And we're trying to infuse a human soul, trying to make it a companion. We're not asking, how do we work, how does AI work for us or how does AI work us? It's a with conversation, right? If we're borrowing the wisdom from previous guest, Tim Arnold, like it's not either or. There's an and here that we need to figure out.
Yeah.
This level of judgment, this level of wisdom is earned through a very interesting life. And I think that the definition of wisdom, if there was an equation, it would be like knowledge plus experience plus judgment plus reflection over time. And that's not something that you learn
Oh, I'm
through
gonna
a book.
have to think about that.
And
You
my
have to
friend,
like text that to me. I'm gonna think about that for like. I'm gonna sit and just let that.
I got you. I got, and this is why, my niece Eva is one of the wisest people that I know, and
Yeah.
she's 8 or 12. I should know this. She's a young human being, but she is wise beyond her years because she synthesizes knowledge, her experience. She's developed good judgment, and she reflects in a very, she's a little sage, and I hope to have her on in a future episode of this. All of my nibblings, but I wanted to ask the question of like, how did you arrive at this level of sagaciousness? And the question that I have for you is the first in what I call like the triplet
Yeah.
of sage advice questions. The first question is this, very simply: what is the best piece of advice that you have received over this journey that has brought you to our gathering today? And this could be something that you read, something that somebody gave you, something that you pulled out of the ether. I'd love to know from your perspective, what is that piece of advice?
All right, so we're gonna get personal because what isn't? So I talked a little bit about like my childhood and being this like
Forced.
bombastic child, and my
Florida,
poor
man.
mother that like had to try and figure out what the hell to do with me.
Yeah.
My poor wonderful mother died when I was fairly young.
Shit, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear you.
I know
I'm sorry
it
to hear
sucks,
that.
right? It just sucks. It's like it just blows.
Yeah,
So
you, Dina, and Bailey all have this in common, man. I wonder if this is like...
in it. So my mom got cancer when I was 18, and she died when I was 22.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
And one thing that she had embodied through my childhood that I just kind of picked up through osmosis, but she started to say all the time when she had cancer, was she started saying carpe diem all the time. And it would be like, and I mean, it's obvious. It makes sense. Like, she's 48 years old. She's got 2 young kids. Well, youngish. I was 18. My sister was 15. But still young kids, finally. And it's, oh gosh, Hamza, it is a real head trip that I am now approaching the age that she was when she got her cancer diagnosis. And it's a bad diagnosis too. It was like stage 4 ovarian cancer. It was like, you are not going to survive this. There was like no shot. But it was just like, use the time you have. So all of a sudden she started saying carpe diem all the time. So it's like, what are we doing today? Who cares? Let's go get ice cream. Carpe diem. What are we doing? Let's go on a family vacation. We took this beautiful trip to Costa Rica. Carpe diem. Like, what are like just, so much of her life had been very practical and about like making decisions, sticking with decisions. And she started to just kind of be like, there's no time. Like, just you've gotta live for the day. And so when she died, it's so wild. It's like at the time I thought I was old. Like, when you're in your early 20s, you think you're old. And looking back, I'm like, I was such a baby. I was such a baby. And so then from the time I was 18, from when she was diagnosed onwards, I just started to like just deeply believe there's no time. Like, mortality was always this like hanging cloud over my shoulder. Like, you could get cancer in your 40s. You need to do everything you possibly can. There's no time. You can't spend 5 years thinking about whether you should or should not leave your job, maybe move on. There's no time. Leave the job or don't leave the job, whatever. But make the decision and commit to the decision. And what's wild to me is that mentality of thinking there's no time, I got to go, I got to build, that really fueled a lot of me as my entrepreneurial journey. And it kind of helped unlock I call it beast mode, like just next level ambition, like just ambition, drive, go, get it. Don't ask permission, keep building, launch something. It's not ready yet. Who cares? Put it out in the world, iterate later, go, 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 right? But my friend, you and I both know that's also the hustle culture, the girl boss shit, all that nonsense.
Toxic hustle, burnout.
Leads to burnout.
Facts. I know a thing or two about that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I burned out really hard.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
I did not. Still waters run deep,
Right?
Avery Swartz.
Yeah. And so what I had to do was start to change that idea of carpe diem, and the common understanding of carpe diem is seize the day. It's not what it means. Right? I know. I'm like, get Robin Williams on the phone. He's dead, but whatever. Like, this is Dead Poets Society. Like, everybody has it wrong.
Hang tight over here. I just have to do one thing. I have to commit to the decision. I have to make the decision.
Okay.
I'm going to seize the day. It has been annoying me since we sat down, but I left
move it.
Okay. You know, these clips are sizzling. You know, we got to make sure this goes far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said that carpe diem does not mean seize the day. With all due respect to the late Robin Williams, R.I.P. Yeah. What does carpe diem mean? You were talking to a word nerd here.
Yeah, right.
I have to resist the temptation to slam the table. Go. I'm ready.
I know.
My body's ready.
So we're going to get really like word nerdy
let's
here.
Go,
okay. But the word seize.
Etymology.
Okay.
Boom.
So seize, and you know, again, like Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society is saying, you know, seize the day, young men, like take every opportunity. The word seize, it's like the word siege. It's like militant. It is conquering. It is it's a thrust. There's a lot of hard action, right? And seize. Yeah, it's like
penetration.
Go and get something and take it. The literal adaptation of carpe diem, which said by, I looked it up, some poet named Horace, like, you know, Roman cool guy.
Horace, yeah.
It actually, the word translates as pluck. It's pluck the day, not seize the day. And isn't that such a beautiful word, pluck? Pluck is like running through a field of daisies, like plucking a petal, plucking a fruit from a tree when it is ripe. Pluck has a softness and a gentleness to it. It still means take something. It still means take advantage, use the day. You know, when the day is ripe, pluck it for what you need in that day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. There's no promise of tomorrow. But seize is so, it's like, again, hustle culture. It's like, do it, get that opportunity, operationalize, capitalize, you know, build capacity.
Drive, achieve.
Right?
Target.
Seize is bro culture.
Bro culture to the max. To the max.
But pluck the day is like, it's light and wonderful.
Yeah.
And that is what my mother was really getting at. She was getting at, you know, I'm dying. I only have so much time. Let's have a good time. Let's have fun. Let's be whimsical. Let's get ice cream at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because why not? Let's take a trip. Now, you go too far and it starts to become irresponsible. But just like a bit of a loosen up, like tomorrow, there's no guarantee of tomorrow. Let's enjoy today. It's a totally different interpretation.
Mind blown.
Right?
Mind blown.
Yeah. And I didn't just make this up. Like you can, Google it.
Oh, this
but carpe diem means pluck the day, not seize the day.
Oh, dude, I thought my mind was blown when I found out that boss actually was a Dutch word that meant like master of slaves. Yeah. I know.
Look at how my face just fell.
Talk about mind blown, right? But I'm like, we all knew that bosses sucked. Like, let's just be honest, right? Yeah. And I'm saying this as a boss. I'm trying to suck less. There's the reason there's a de-bossification trend and people don't want bosses or don't want to be bosses. We'll get to that another time. But pluck the day is paradigm shifting.
Right?
Because
totally.
This is hilarious. Especially on Sundays, like I'm terrible at resting. I will get like 24 hours of rest and I'll be like, I'm ready to go again.
Right?
And then sometimes like I'll get up on a Sunday super early and I'll go grab some bagels. Yeah. I'll like start doing chores. Bailey's like, what are you doing, man? It's like 6 a.m. And I'm like, I'm not going to attack the day. Like, that's what I say. But you know what?
You're going to pluck the day.
I'm going to gently pluck an everything bagel. I'm going to pluck some schmear. I'm going to pluck some lox. I'm going to pluck the Swiffer, right? I'm going to pluck this Xbox controller.
Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm plucking.
Yeah. Dude, we got to get shirts. Pluck the day.
Plucking.
Mother plucker, man. Whatever this is, you have found something. One way or another, this has to make it into the next book, your next keynote.
Oh my gosh.
You got to get this tatted if you don't have it already. Phenomenal. Yeah. I'm already seeing the title card right now. And I'm just like, Sage Advice, Hamza Khan presents Avery Swartz. Pluck the day.
Pluck the day. Right. It's like just frolicking through a
Oh,
field of
shit.
flowers. Yeah.
This is perfect because what it's doing for me is like in real time now, I'm challenging some conventional wisdom because
Yeah.
I was a previous subscriber to, sorry, I'm unsubscribing right now, to attack the day, seize the day.
Yeah.
Done with that. We don't need that anymore. So
Yeah.
this wisdom is now landing for me in a very profound way. Before I get into my next question, I wanted to sort of like just play with this idea of plucking the day. And I want to know how this piece of feedback, this piece of advice, wisdom rather, that came from your dear mom, RIP, stayed with you and morphed within you. How did this, if in any way, change how you lead or teach? Because you said you burnt out. Like, tell me about the after now. Like we know what the before was. What happened after with the pluck the day paradigm?
I think it comes a bit from just time, experience, some wisdom, getting older.
Reflection.
Yeah. A little more just kind of confidence in myself and my abilities to like, all right, well, that happened and I survived that. That happened and I survived that. I'm like a cockroach. You can't kill me. I think it introduced a sense of ease. Right? Of just like, yeah, we can still go. And I am in beast mode in 2025, like I haven't been in like close to a decade. But I'm trying to also just be in it and be chill and not, have any of, just that crush it, I'm hustling, sort of stuff. It's more, there's a gentleness and an ease to it.
This is very, very affirming for me, Avery, I must say. Every year I curate a playlist called my warm-up playlist that I do when I'm doing all of my sort of like pre-talk routine, like the shower, the changing, the makeup, all that too. And yes, NBP, I do use makeup. You got to...
Yeah, of course.
100%. Dude's got to use makeup, straight up. I just got to be honest with you. And I made the mistake of like adding in my outro of that, like the song that I play right before I take the stage. I'm listening to it on my AirPods and it just helps me get in that right headspace. I added a song that was like a little too bro-y. That was a little too...
Please tell me it's not Eminem.
No. There's almost no rap. I mean, there is rap, but it happens early on just to like get the heart going. But at the end, I usually do like a gentle outro with like some instrumental music, maybe like a somber Jack Harlow track. I made the mistake of adding like the end credits of the Matrix trilogy, which is just like dude, like Neo and Smith fighting, and it's just like orchestral, and like I got on stage and my energy is different. I'm like, oh no. There's a tightness in my shoulders. I'm balling my fists, my jaw is clenching. I'm now like, I'm feeling adversarial with this group. Yeah. Like I walked into I can't say the client here, but I walked
sorry, client.
I walked into a large financial institution in Canada and I'm listening to the Matrix soundtrack. I'm like, no, this is not good because now I'm seeing NPCs.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, no. I'm seeing the code.
Backflips.
I'm like, I'm trying to talk about human-centric leadership, but like, why? Oh, I feel like I'm walking into a lobby. This is not right. Anyways, that happened and it went well. Ultimately, it went well. Like I was able to like shift my mindset halfway through the talk. But this is a very sage advice. You've given me sage advice and a reminder that this needs to be easy because I'm actually at my best when I'm light. Right. When I'm breathing, when I'm like whimsical, when I'm telling jokes, when I'm like, there's physical comedy on stage, when I'm dancing like Miss Martha Graham. Yeah. So thank you for this reminder. And I think it's so important for us to have this conversation as people who are executives, CEOs, founders. Like we were part of that early 2000s rush. Just let it breathe. Let it go.
Right.
Let it go.
Yeah. You want to know what like the best song is for like embodying that I love and it's on one of my like I don't listen to it for every single like speaking or teaching event, but I do like to put it on when I need it. Lovely Day by Bill Withers.
You know what? I'm embarrassed to say I've not heard. Oh wait, sorry. Lovely day, such a lovely day. Oh, okay, yeah.
And it literally says lovely day. Like just like have a lovely day, whatever, but it's got a nice it's chill, but it's also upbeat. Yeah. And like it's got a nice flow. Like it's a really good one to put you in like the pluck the day mindset.
Pluck the day. Yeah. Plucky day.
Yeah. Plucky right. Day. There it is.
My friend. Okay, this is brilliant. And this leads to the next question, right? So, somebody as wise as yourself who's, entered into this era of ease, but somehow don't confuse ease for a lack of productivity, of drive, of performance. I mean, there is just unstoppable beast mode level output happening, but without the wear and tear. less of a mark on your soul. I'm very curious to know, in this iteration of Avery, is there any advice, sage advice, that has entered your world that feels right? It's intuitive. You're like, I get it, but it hasn't quite landed yet.
Yeah, I mean, this perfectly builds on it because, like, I don't want to sit here and be a guru on the mountain and be like, yeah, I got it all figured out. And, like, every day is a lovely day. Like, I stumble and fall all over the place. But there's some advice that I got from a friend, and she doesn't even know that she's giving me this advice. And that's something I always got to remember, because it's like, people are always watching you and you're always watching other people. And you say something and you don't even know how it's going to hit somebody. So my friend Jennifer Stewart is a boss herself, and is also driven, ambitious, building an entrepreneurial empire, et cetera, et cetera. And I read a profile on her that was in, she lives in Ottawa, so it might have been like Ottawa Citizen or Ottawa Life or something like that. And it was like an entrepreneurial profile, and somebody asked her one of those awful questions that women tend to get asked, like, how do you do it all? How do you balance? Blah, 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 blah. Let's ask the men those questions more. But Jen said something, I'm paraphrasing, but basically the wisdom is, be where you are.
Ooh.
And it's one thing to read that. So I read it in the profile. Jen saying that when she's at work, she's at work. And when she is at home, she is at home. And she works in PR, particularly in like government relations and crisis comms and stuff. So it's like, yeah, the phone is going off all the time. There's always some sort of crisis. Somebody needs her. But she's like, you got to be where you are. When you're at home, you're at home. And when you're at work, you're at work. And I have no boundaries at all. Like work, life, whatever. There's no balance. There's nothing. Like it just all flows. And so I read advice like that. And if I had read that advice from a stranger, I'd be like, that's horse shit. Like, that's a soundbite. You don't actually live like that, whatever. But I know this person, and she's a friend. And I spend a weekend with her every Labor Day. Our families get together at a cottage, and we spend all Labor Day together with all our families. So I've seen her live this. Labor Day weekend, Jen shows up. Now, all due respect, Jen, and she knows it. She always shows up late. She comes in on Friday. You know that she was wrapping up the last possible thing at the office. But then she shows up, and she is present for the entire weekend.
Phone down.
I've never even seen her phone. Her phone is so tucked away, but what's in her hand is a book. She reads novels.
Wow.
Like, not business books. She reads novels. Yeah. She's playing with her kids. She's going on a hike. When we're like, let's get the boat out and we're going to like go tubing or something, she's driving the boat. She's in the tube. She's, out with everybody. She's in her jammies from the moment she shows up. She's relaxed. She's chill. And I know, even though it's a holiday weekend, her phone just must be blowing up the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
But she's not there. She's with us. And she's with her kids. And then I've also seen her in professional mode, where she is in professional mode. And I'm sure, her kid's school is calling or something. And so she's got help. I don't think people talk enough about the professional help that they have. She's also got an amazing husband who pulls his share of the work. And so he's helping out with the kids and stuff as well. But when she's at work, she is at work and she is in beast mode. But when she's off, she is off. And like, I know that is possible because I've seen my friend do it, but maybe I'll be a guru on a mountain when I've got that figured out, because I don't, like, I try hard, wow. But my phone is often in my pocket and I am pulling it out when I'm with my kid, when I'm with my husband, when I'm on vacation. I've got the systems. I've got a wonderful team.
Yeah.
I know the team can take care of stuff. But it's a compulsion. It's a bit of a like, and also, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, do I need it? Do I need the hit? Do I need the excitement? Do I need that
Yeah, the
You know,
dopamine,
right?
the dopamine rush, man.
Yeah.
Bailey calls it the lottery. She's like, sometimes you open up your email and one email just changes the trajectory of not only your day, but your life. And you know the
Totally.
feeling, right? Like you open it up and it's
Totally.
like a request comes in for a speaking engagement. You're like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
And then the rest of the day, you feel like a baller. And
I
you're
know,
like,
I
yeah,
know.
this is the best.
And on the days where that doesn't happen, you're just incessantly refreshing. You're like, oh man, taxes again.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like an HR challenge.
Yeah.
Like this, you want that hit. And that then spills over from your inbox. It goes into Instagram, it goes into WhatsApp, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. It's a lot. Jennifer Stewart, man, by the way, shout out. I don't know if I know you. I know you through Avery. You have held up a mirror to me because I have been the person at the cottage that's like, I just need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes becomes the entire day.
Right.
And there I am swearing. I'm like trying to fix things. And it's just a disaster. And even when I'm on the tube, even when I am, in my jammies, I'm not there.
Right.
I'm not there. And somebody said something similar to me and it didn't quite land. They said, be where your feet are. And I thought about that. I was like, this sounds cool. It sounds like be physically present, but be where you are is holistic. Be where you are. And it's just so simple.
Right.
And, this is a reminder that is something that I need right now, right? This is sage advice because I feel a little bit scattered.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm present with you here. Like, don't get me wrong, but I know that after this, I have a phone call.
You got another thing. You got another thing.
I got another thing, and then I gotta get in multiple headspaces.
Yeah.
But when I'm in this, when I'm doing shows, when I'm on stage, when I'm writing, I am where I am.
Yeah.
It's for everybody else. I don't think I'm as present for my friends, my family.
Yeah.
I'm not as present for Bailey as I could be.
Yeah.
And with kids on the way, like I really got to get my shit together. And so thank you. Like I believe that sage advice arrives in your life exactly in the moment that you need it.
Yeah.
Just like Gandalf, right? The wizard arrives exactly when you need it. And Jennifer has imparted that wisdom to you. You've imparted it to me. And hopefully now this is being imparted to the viewers, the listeners. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a good one, right?
That's a really, really good one.
Yeah.
How is that playing out now with I wonder if there's any connection to be where you are and, dare say like digital life in general. Like we know what it's like for us, but like for the younger generations watching this who are struggling with mental health challenges, anxiety, growing levels of depression, disassociation, disconnection, how might be where you are as wisdom? How could we, for lack of a better word, operationalize that for kids?
I mean, the kids are all right. Like they got it all figured out. They know everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a 14-year-old at home, and like, it's like I'm not worried about that generation at all. They got it all figured out. But one thing that the kids, I sound like such an old person. One thing that the kids say is they say like, touch grass. Like they already know it. Like that is be where you are. Like get offline, go touch grass, go like check in with people. Like I love, okay, let me put it this way. And this is with all like mad respect for my father and my husband's mother, who I really, really love. I love my mother-in-law. My husband and I are their go-to like tech support. Like it just And I was listening to somebody talk recently, and they said that it's an act of love to like help these people that raised you like with their tech, like so don't like treat it like oh my dad can't figure out his router.
Just
like
write the Wi-Fi password down, man. Jeez.
But as I learn more and more about what's going on online, especially with regards to misinformation, disinformation, all these like new scams that are coming up that are much more sophisticated, how people are using voice cloning technology to pretend that they're someone that they're not. It's not my 14-year-old that I'm worried about. It's my mother-in-law that I'm worried about. Like the kids, like the 14-year-old, she knows it. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, look at what I can do. I can clone my voice and make it sound like I'm calling you in an emergency and telling you what to do. And she's like, yeah, Mom, but duh, I would be able to tell that that's a scam because of this and this and this. And I'd ask you for specifics. And I was like, oh, dang, like you got this figured out. Where like my mother-in-law or my father, they would be totally bamboozled. So I don't know. I don't worry about the youths. I hope that they will... that they're watching us.
Yeah. We're providing cover for them. We're
Yeah.
providing cover for them in the way that, every generation prior to us attempted to provide cover for us as well. Some, I would say net positive. Every now and then there was a little bit of paranoia in there.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that the kids are saying touch grass, whereas, I think even about my parents too. My dad's thing is just like, what's the latest scam right now? Like, he's so obsessed with that. He's like, oh, did you see this new CRA scam? Did you see this new phishing scam? Like the TD email looks indistinguishable from the actual TD email.
Oh my God, I love your dad.
Oh yeah. He's just obsessed with this. I don't know why.
Hang.
Oh yeah. That's his thing. But dude, every now and then things even catch me. I got an email from Squarespace the other day, or so I thought, being like, hey, your website subscription is ending. And I was like, oh shoot, I thought this was on auto thing. And I was just about to click it. I'm like, oh, hold on. This is AI generated. Do you know how I know? Because it's using a lot of antithesis. I'm like, booked you. And then I looked at the URL and I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. This is at squarespace34.com.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I got you over here.
Yeah.
So be where you are. And I think that if you're not present, then you can be more susceptible to some of these
100%.
egresses.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool, my friend. I'm just so glad that you're doing the work that I know I've said that 10 times on the show, but truly, because without you, it's like who are we going to get this from? Because you're right, the quote unquote futurists are just probably all on mushrooms, and right, just straight up, with all due respect to futurists, Ray Kurzweil, I love you, I quote you all the time, but you're on shrooms, dude.
Yeah, totally. The singularity. What is that all about?
What is that?
Right.
I saw this clip with Mo Gaudat. I think I think he's a personal friend of Bailey's. Dude, Mo. Your eyes were dilated, dude.
Touch grass.
Mo, touch
and not
grass.
that kind of grass.
Well done. Well done. We, on the note of touching grass, we need...
I told you I'd bring the goofiness. I can't help it.
Spike.
I can't help it.
Mo, man, I hope to get you on the show, man. We'll touch grass in the green room.
You can't help it.
Oh shit. Oh man. This is
Damn it, Avery, this is a serious podcast.
oh shit. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on here, man. Listen, this is the energy we need, right? When I look behind the inauguration and I saw the tech barons, and I'm using that word very intentionally, I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is it. All of you have gone on record saying that you don't let your kids use social media. So why are you letting my kids use it?
Yeah.
Right. So we need we need people who understand the line, right? Sorry, as soon as I said the line, I was like,
it all comes back, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is going off the rails. In the best way possible, by the way. Touching grass, the line. I mean, I just so sorry. Let's bring it back. We got. I don't know how to transition with ease into this because this next question is about mortality. So,
but this is the thing. It's like anybody that really I think is in a place that they're somewhat comfortable with mortality. Are the people that can laugh and joke about it.
I think so, truly, and it is to me nothing short of a super metric, or not even super metric here, but it is the closest thing I found to a theory of everything. The work of Dr. Sheldon Solomon and Ernest Becker when they talked about the denial of death and how so much of life is an attempt to keep feelings of death at bay.
Yeah.
And I know this from personal experience. Bailey and I experienced some losses last year. Bailey has experienced loss of her mother as well. There's people in my family right now who are sick. I've had some stories that I'm still processing right now in therapy that I'm going to share eventually that sort of brought me close to the feeling of death. And once you get there, once you maybe are in a room with somebody who's dying, the artifice disappears. The fabric of reality starts to fade into the background, and then you're confronted with the reality of your situation. Yeah. And it's in those moments where you realize, who am I really? What do I actually care about? What is my philosophy on life? We talk about purpose and North Star and all that. And we do all kinds of retreats and read all kinds of books and listen to all kinds of podcasts. But it is in those moments when you're just engaging with the question of, if today was the last day, if I had to pluck the day today, what wisdom would I pluck and leave for my 14-year-old, for my family, for, posterity? And I just love to ask you that question in its rawest form. What's the piece of advice that you want to leave on your tombstone, Avery?
This is going to be so on brand because of like the goofiness, but I mean it in all sincerity. The easiest way that I can say this, my kind of life philosophy, and it's one that I share with my husband, and he's the one that sums it up in the most simple way possible, is don't be a dick. Like, just don't be a dick. And what that means to me is, like, if we want to get really, scholarly, this is the golden mean. This is Aristotle's idea of, like, kind of walk the middle. And when you encounter someone, including yourself, treat them with kindness and respect until they prove that they don't deserve your respect, and then you can take that away. But kindness is not the same thing as nice. And I talk to my daughter about this a lot, that being kind means doing the right thing. Being kind means saying what's hard to say. Being kind means giving yourself and another person some grace. Being kind means calling something what it is. Brene Brown says clear is kind, and she's very gracious in that she says she didn't come up with it. Like, she heard it in like an AA meeting or something. But yeah, like, being clear is kind. And sometimes having hard conversations is kind. Like, don't be a dick. Have the hard conversation. But also don't be a dick to yourself. Mm-hmm. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. Respect yourself. Respect other people. People make mistakes. We ourselves make mistakes. It's okay. Forgive. Be quick to forgive if you can, but also don't turn yourself into a doormat. I love what Dr. Samra said about, you can forgive, but that doesn't necessarily mean somebody gets access back into your life. Like, forgiveness is the gift that you give to yourself. Mm-hmm. So all of this is this kind of like, because I'm not a particularly religious person in any given way, but just like it's a bit of a way to approach life, so that you're like just don't be a dick.
Right.
Like, be good to yourself, be good to other people, be moral, be ethical, kindness and respect, mm-hmm. but kindness and respect for yourself, even before other people. And yeah, like, if you want to get really fancy, like, it is what Aristotle said too.
Sure.
So like, we can give it some gravitas
in
that way.
No.
But like, that's basically what it boils down to.
Absolutely, right? Like, I think we appreciated reading, like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, the golden rule, the Hammurabi Code or something like that. So it's been a long time. But like, if we're talking to the generation that says touch grass, right?
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. Yeah. It tracks, right? Like, totally. It's actually perfect. I'm really excited, like, for this to appear on the title card right after, like, Pluck the Day, Don't Be a Dick. It's so good. Like, this episode is easily, probably, like, with all due respect to everybody who came before, like, this is probably my favorite episode. I love you all, but like, this is kind of what I always envisioned Sage Advice to be. Just like, but with that being said, like, don't be a dick as a general philosophy. If applied, let's just pick a context here. Let's just apply it to, like, governance, for example, right? If Avery is running for Prime Minister of Canada, which will
never happen, people stop asking me.
Never.
It comes up a fair bit. They're like, when are you going to get into politics? And I'm like, friends, can you imagine this? I do not have a bureaucratic bone in my body.
I'm telling you right now, Avery, if you ran for office and you're like, I need somebody to work on my campaign, I'm on the record now. I'm on the record now.
Scandals of me just like running my mouth.
Oh, dude. That is exactly what we need. But my name is Hamza Khan, and I endorse Avery Swartz for Prime Minister of the greatest country in the world, Canada, right? So, and you know what? Take the 11th province while you're at it, right? champ, right? But like, if your platform was "Don't be a dick," if that was the flag, oh my God, like, let me translate that for people. I'll be like, what Avery is trying to say, right? Let me be Avery's anger translator.
Yeah.
What Avery's trying to say is, like, people are suffering in 2020. When is the next election?
20 Well, I mean, in Canada, we don't know. We'll see.
That's true.
Yeah. It could be 4 years.
2029 in 2029, people are still suffering, right?
Yeah.
People are still in poverty.
Mm.
People are still ignorant because of failures in the education system, and people are still vulnerable. Like, suffering exists. And what Avery is saying with the slogan, "Don't be a dick," which everyone is laughing at, has become a meme, is she's saying, end suffering, like raise the bar, shift the line so that like we don't accept this anymore, so that people don't actually have to fall out of society and wonder where their next paycheck is coming from, wonder where their next meal is coming from, will feel safe going to walk to their car through a parking lot at night and not have to worry about being, assaulted. Like, that is what Avery is saying. Don't be a dick, right? Let's just like breathe that spirit into everything. Breathe that into government, breathe that into corporations, breathe that into technology.
Yeah.
That's the shit right there, man.
Yeah.
That's the shit right there. When do you think that this philosophy crystallized for you? Because I feel like this was like your husband said, like this is your thing. But did it spontaneously arrive? Was it a gradual process, or was there one day where you're like, man, this is the thing?
There's something about having kids that really makes you like take things in the back of your mind, conversations that, you just kind of mull around, really come to the forefront. Many people have an idea of like, oh, well, when I have kids, I'm going to do it this way. Or I would raise my kids different from either the way I was raised or the way that person, my neighbor's raising their kids, or, so much judgment. Oh my gosh, so much judgment about how people raise their children. But it's a wonderful moment for you and your partner if you're co-parenting. And gosh, I mean, you could even bring in the grandparents, bring in everybody that's going to be raising this kid. To say the unspoken and be like, so if we're not going to raise them like, the quote unquote spoiled brats down the road or whatever it might be, then what are we going to do? And what are the important things that we want to teach our kid? And what do we value and want our kid to value? And what do we want to kind of guide them towards as much as we can, unless you get a kid like little Avery who like just cannot be guided.
Autonomous, the original AI, Avery intelligence.
My husband Ian and I, we talked a lot about like what do we want our kid to know? What do we want to teach her that's more important than anything else? What do we want to see from her? And we both agreed that we did not want to be really domineering, high-pressured parents that demand some sort of academic excellence or anything like that. That we wanted to give her like hard boundaries of what is, and be very clear, again, because clarity is important to us. Clarity around what she is and isn't allowed to do, but then inside those boundaries, she can kind of do whatever she wants and have some autonomy in those spaces. So sometimes that means literally like you have to go to bed at this time, but between now and then you can do whatever you want, or, whatever it might be. So we talked a lot about how, to us, what does success look like for like raising our kid? And at the end of the day, we're like, well, we want her to be happy, but happy is that's a difficult word. So it's like less about happiness, more just about contentment. We wanted her to feel okay in who she is. We wanted her to literally, this is on our list. We're like, be okay with who you are, not be a menace to society. Because we're like, we don't care. You can be a public health inspector for all we care. Like, you do not have to be a doctor or a lawyer. You do not, like, both of us work in tech. You don't have to work. Actually, please don't work in tech. Like, go and do something else. Like, you can be a dancer like Martha Graham. Like, we don't have any sense of like right and wrong career paths. Yeah. Because who's going to have a career in 20 years anyway? But whatever. So it's like, just don't be a menace to society. What was the first thing I said?
I think it was something like along the lines of like yourself, or like be yourself.
Yeah. Be have some sort of self-knowledge and kind of confident in who you are and knowing yourself. And then outwardly to the rest of society, like, be kind, have respect. And that's also the rules of our house. The rules of our house are we treat each other with kindness and respect. that sometimes we're mad at each other.
Sure, man.
Sometimes we're resentful. Sometimes we're ticked off.
Of course, dude.
Like, but even in those moments, we still treat each other with kindness and respect. And sometimes kindness means I need to absent myself from this situation.
Right.
Because I could really say something that would be quite hurtful because I'm angry.
Yeah.
So I need to go and take the dog for a walk. Or I need to just be like, you know what? We all need to watch a comedy TV show or something so we can laugh this off or whatever. Like, so we treat each other with kindness and respect. And so we were like, that's all we want for our kid. We just want her to be somewhat self-aware, okay in herself. Don't be a menace to society. Treat yourself and others with kindness and respect. And then Ian said, so basically what we're getting at is don't be a dick. And I was like, there it is, bud. Man. Like, that's it.
For two people who don't love frameworks.
Right?
Like,
I know.
Shout out to Ian, man. Yeah. Ian did the thing. Like,
He's like, it distills down to don't be a dick.
That's it. Like our previous guest, Tim Arnold, just distill the complexity into the thing. Don't be a dick. And I also love that you have rules for your house. This is inspiring. I already know I'm going to have a conversation with Bailey about this because we started working over text. But like, what would our sort of philosophy be for our children? And like, it was very similar. It's like, we want them to be free. Yeah. We want them to be happy.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're challenging me to think about happiness because that's, it's so personal.
Yeah.
But I like contentment, right? Like just be at peace with yourself. Be at ease.
At ease.
Right?
Yeah. Pluck.
Don't be a sieger. Be a plucker.
Yeah.
Right? My friend, in closing, I would love to hear, you're somebody who has such prescience. You're able to see the future. Like you're actually a futurist. You might not label yourself as a futurist.
Barf.
I know, but like the dynamics of futurism, divining, time traveling, whatever you want to call it. But like you see things. Like you've got the eye, right? You've got the eye of the oracle. You know sort of how this is going to play out. You've seen enough business cycles. You've seen enough social cycles to know what's coming next. And that is remarkable because I was sitting on a panel, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, with every chief economist from every major Canadian financial institution. And they were all like, wait, we don't know what's happening 2 years from now. And I'm like, if you don't know what's happening 2 years from now,
you're not paying close enough attention.
Get off the chairs, dude. Like, exactly.
Totally.
Get off the chairs.
Yeah.
And I say that with love and respect, but like, I think they're speaking about sort of macroeconomics. But if we're talking about how society in the future is going to play out, I would love for you to apply that lens over here for this final question, which is not part of the triplets. This is an emerging question inspired by Bailey, which is, what is a piece of advice that you see in the distance that's flickering right now? And you're like, I'm curious about that. Let me move in the direction of whatever that thing is. As vague, as unformed as it may be. You might not even have a phrase for it. It might be a word or a symbol.
I think, and this is so much about your work, and it's just kind of a coincidence that this is where you're heading, or maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe we're both seeing the same thing. As much as I see all of the awfulness, there's so much awfulness. And I think, and it's not just now, like humans have been like this for thousands of years. Like, I listen to all this stuff where, like, especially, gosh, there's such a reckoning happening right now in America. And there's a lot of Americans that are saying, this is not who we are. And it's like, nah, actually it is. Because, like, you got to look back to, like, you can't say this is not who you are if you don't, like, know about Jim Crow. And if you don't know about the Civil Wars. And if you don't know about, like, like, there's a lot of nastiness in American
prison
history,
industrial complex,
right?
Man, let's talk about it. Yeah.
So, and we can do that with like all of human civilization. Sure. Like, humans are awful, but also humans, like, just and the more I work in artificial intelligence, the more fascinated I am with humans, because humans, we are so weird and wonderful and twisted and awful and complex, and we love to play tricks on ourselves. We say certain things and we do other things. But there's still something so remarkably resilient, and this is your world, Hamza. There's something so hopeful still in humanity. And so as much as I love to hang out with my robot friends, and I know there's a lot of people right now that are trying to that are trying to like pull the chute. They're trying to get out. They're trying to get out of human civilization because it's so messy. There's like these people that are literally like building like islands and boats and floating like parts in the world where they're like it's ungovernable. They're trying to live underground. If you ask Mark Zuckerberg, apparently we all are just going to get AI friends instead of real friends because real friends are too messy and hard. Like that's messed up.
Go pluck yourself, man.
Right? Yeah, seriously, that guy needs a pluck of the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really still love humans.
Me too, dude.
As
Me too.
messy as we are. And so as much as I see all the awfulness, I still like, I don't think I'm necessarily an optimist. I think I'm more of like just like a realist. But I sleep well at night. I don't feel badly that I have a child, that I'm, raising a child in this world, that, that there's a lot of people that really do think, very smart people, that really do think that we're like on the edge of like human extinction because of artificial intelligence, that we are creating a superpower that will eclipse us.
Right.
And I don't 100% disagree. Like, I'm at about like, I said about a 10% likelihood with that. On certain days it goes higher, on certain days it goes lower. But I do also see all the infuriating, because sometimes it's annoying, it's infuriating how freaking resilient and wild humans can be. How at the 11th hour, we can just pull off some kind of hat trick. Like, there was a hockey game a few weeks ago. I don't even watch hockey, but I heard about this where it was like, I think it was a Canadian team, might have been Winnipeg. They were like down like a few goals, and it literally in the last like few seconds of the game, score a goal, score another goal, tied the thing, go into overtime, they win the whole game.
Bango bongo.
Like that's humans, right?
That's
like,
humans.
At the last minute, we'll just pull some sort of a hat trick, and I don't know. That's the hope, and it's contagious, and it's impossible to bury.
Oh, Avery, I need to tell you about the book I'm writing right now, but we got to do this. We got to do this off. I love you all. I love you all, but like, there's a whole marketing plan here. So, Avery, my God, resilient and wild. Okay, man, this was so much fun. I wish we had like 2 more hours to do this, but we'll be back.
Yeah,
we'll do this again.
Yeah,
you are an absolute light, Avery. Thank you so much, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all of the learners, the viewers, the listeners. This was special.
Thank you.
That was Avery Swartz, and if you didn't already love her work, I hope you now feel the heart, the humanity behind it. Avery reminds us that technology doesn't have to be intimidating. When it's taught with care, grounded in accessibility, led by equity, it becomes a force for connection, confidence, and courage. Her wisdom, her sage advice, is a reminder that digital transformation isn't just about new tools. It's about new ways of thinking, new kinds of inclusion, and new opportunities to lift each other up. Avery, again, thank you for lighting the path for so many, and for doing it with such generosity, with such grace, with such ease. I'm Hamza Khan, and this is Sage Advice. Until next time, stay hopeful.